Hello and welcome on in, everybody. I've got a PvP commentary for you guys today, and I wanted to show a clip of something that I've never seen before in PvP, and that is a bot in Outpost Rush. I'm pretty sure that this guy here that just died is a bot. He came back to this fight multiple times, and just the way that he moved, he didn't seem to have any real awareness of whether players were around him or not looking around with his camera like a player would, and just kind of holding still randomly and then turning on the dime to attack in the wrong direction at times as well. Yeah, I gotta say, this looks a lot like a bot. I've never seen one in PvP before, at least not one that's super obvious, and I would imagine that putting a bot together for a game like this would be no easy task, and it would have to probably learn how to play the game properly. But either way, are bots going to be taking over PvP? No, I don't think so. This bot seems more than useless. I don't know how to put it any other way. It's just there to farm free kills, basically. But I wanted to show you guys because I've never come by that before in PvP, and have you guys ever encountered a bot in PvP? Do you think we're ever going to see something like that? I think that this game is a little bit too complex for that to really be a reality. Either way, I've got some good fights for you guys that I wanted to share today as well, and yeah, having more fun in OPR. Loving the Firestaff Rapier. I was trying out Tondo a little bit this morning, and I really think that the way the current meta is, you are pretty locked into using riposte on the Rapier, just because if you get caught by two players that have strong immobilizes, like two players with gravity well, you can run into a lot of issues being able to effectively counter that. And trying out Tondo before the new patch hits, you know, we just don't have a good answer to getting caught in that immobilize. So I switched back to riposte, but that being said, I did get myself some gear, so I will be trying out the Flesh Evade Tondo combo once the 3v3 arenas hit the live server and we get to see some of those PvP changes. Without further ado, let's get into that PvP commentary here. I've been just chasing this guy down a little bit after getting hit by a bunch of enemy players. This was the last one that I was fighting, and he ends up splitting away from the group. So we land the fireball from behind and finish him off. And this is, again, one of my favorite things to do in OPR, to find some nice small-scale PvP. Just head right to the enemy spawn by myself and see what I can run into. An enemy archer comes up, and the other enemy player from behind with the Void Gauntlet. I should have seen that one coming. The hammer player turned around and threw his shockwave on me as well. So I take a bit of damage from that and then just retreat back towards the rock here. And I throw some fireballs down on the enemy archer player that comes in. He goes for a bit of a combo with his rapier, and the other two enemy players have peeled off, leaving him alone, and I jump right on top of him with the Firestaff Gap Closer, go into the flesh on the rapier to stay right on top of him, and then feed him a few light attacks to finish him off. Head back towards the other side here, see my team just kind of holding that outpost, so I work my way further up the road again. An enemy musket player just kind of shooting me with his musket and exchanging with the fireball. I'm getting some nice crits on him, so I'm putting some good damage in, and he did not heal up before I got close. 2.8k crit on the fireball, and I bring down the musket player, and then I quickly turn around, and these two guys again have just run past to try to help with the front line. But we're going to try to put a bit of damage into the guy that's not at least paying attention. An enemy healer here with his back to me. I just quickly jump on top, go for a bit of damage. Hit him with the burnout, and there's the friendly player to finish him off. And I just, again, work my way back up the top of the road and get back to the enemy spawn. The archer comes back out. It looks like we've got a healer and the musket player in the back there. I catch a riposte off of an incoming projectile, a third player coming to join the fight as well, and I go for the flamethrower. Only managed to get one tick, I think, on that guy, and he comes charging in with his spear. I get caught in the gravity well. I don't have the riposte ready, so I'm forced to use flesh to escape. Still take that stun. It's pretty dangerous, but I turn around and decide to go for a burnout to put a bit of pressure on the spear player. A huge fireball crit, and this guy is very squishy. I go for the flamethrower and manage to catch him with the tick right as he goes for the stun on the spear, and I bring the spear player down very quickly. Flesh on top of the enemy musket player, switch to the Firestaff, throw down the burnout, try to hit him with the heavy attack. I end up missing there, throw the fireball down next, and he just keeps trying to run down the road. I throw one fireball at the healer. Definitely probably should have just focused on trying to bring down the low health player. I'm trying to stay on top of him, but a lot of players just coming down the hill, and I'm in a very exposed position on the road. I need to work towards some terrain, and I make a huge mistake there, going for the roll, dropping my stamina, and that's going to lower my movement speed, not allow me to roll again, of course, and they just shoot me very fast and kill me. And now in the next fight, again, hanging around the enemy spawn and just kind of shooting some fireballs at the enemy fire mage here. I notice an archer up top shooting me with some arrows too, and the great axe player ends up throwing down the gravity well. Actually, looks like 2 great axe players, one of them with great axe ice gauntlet, and I managed to escape the trap using the flesh there, and then I just keep trying to put some pressure on the enemy archer up top. He's in a very exposed position there, and he can definitely out damage me, but it seems like he's having a hard time hitting me with all my rolls here. He actually ends up jumping off the edge, maybe to get himself a better vantage point, or maybe he just fell. Either way, that's really good for me because I don't have to climb up there, and I can use the terrain to line of sight him more successfully. And the enemy fire mage chases me around the corner here. I go for a nice fireball on him, hit him with the burnout, the flamethrower, sorry, and then the burnout to get right back on top of him. I go for a flash through him, get some good damage with it, and he ends up very quickly retreating. There comes the fireball and the heavy attack, a nice connection, and a crit on the fireball too, and I managed to bring him down. And it looks like the enemy archer player here is trying to get some damage with the rapier. Firestaff does such a good job shutting down the Rapier. Maybe next patch Rapier will be a little bit better against it with the increased tracking, but as it sits right now, Firestaff does a fantastic job just dealing with it. And then I go for a little bit of a duel with this guy and manage to get a nice flesh combo into the backstab there. And I'm bringing him down. 3 more players come out of the spawn now, and I'm just going to go right on top of the enemy archer, try to put some damage in. Managed to get a little bit lucky not getting hit with that shockwave. The stagger could have been really bad, just taking that additional pressure and having to wait there a little bit longer. But I managed to successfully get back behind the rock here, and me and this guy just start dueling flamethrowers. He gets a bit of dot pressure on me though, and I'm taking some shots from the bottom here too. So I'm just trying to use this rock as best as possible to line of sight, and I go for the burnout just off the edge, hugging the corner as best as possible. The tighter I can keep that angle, the better job I can do just mitigating that range damage. And after the other players come over the edge, I quickly go back around the side, doing my best to LOS as many players as possible. And look at that, so many guys, they just give up, they run away. I love fighting in this location because you get a steady inflow of players, and yeah, it's interesting. Got like a completely new group of players to fight. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the clip here as we say goodbye. If you want to catch some live gameplay from me, you can find it on Twitch. There's a link down below for you guys. Check out my Twitter if you want to keep up to date with me. And of course, check out my website, pvpnewworld.com. Written guides to this build, many more builds, and of course some information on the game. I do the New World Top 5 battles, so if you've got an awesome fight that you want to send in for the top 5, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. And this stream is sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They can give you better ping to your favorite game. They are free to try for the first month, and there's a link down below in the description for you guys. And last but not least, a massive thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Thank you everybody so much just for tuning in and watching. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you again next time, and have a great night, everybody.